Warning! This program contains irrefutable facts, unapologetically biased opinions, and shameless homerism for the Southeastern Conference and its teams. Misguided fans of other leagues and teams may find some of the information in this broadcast to be disillusioning, deflating, or even offensive. You've been warned. Kip, Terry, Tony, Legend, Case, and our special guests, we own the airwaves. Saturday mornings, 8 a.m. on Jocks 94.5. It's game time. Saturdays, 10:30, ABC 3340 television. Get ready for the SEC on ABC and get in the starting lineup. And on Sundays, 9 a.m. on Jocks, it is Kip and Terry after a great day of football, the morning after. Football weekend, total information domination.
Welcome back to another exciting week of the starting lineup. You never know who's going to join us.
Look at our cool new set, Tony.
How about this? We can spread out a little bit. I like it. I am Tony Curry spreading out for Kip Keefer. We got the Legend coming up. We got Terry Quillian coming up. We got Case Keefer, of course, the Heaters from the Desert. We'll also be doing our top three as we look into our portfolio. It's getting a little tighter a little bit. Speaking of winner chicken dinner, Debbie Adcox. Congratulations to Debbie. She picked up a $100 gift card.
Way to go, Debbie.
Baseball. She knew that the word of the week last week was massage. And she called me back, and so she won that. So
I knew it, but I didn't call in. I'm sorry.
She didn't. She did not. And before we get into it, where are we going to be this next week now as we continue to advertise and talk about the starting lineup?
We are going to have a special happy hour party at the Birmingham Racecourse Casino on the 4th floor from 5 to 7:30. We're going to blow it out, have a big gathering of all of our viewers and our fans, all of our supporters from radio and all of our other pursuits. You are cordially invited. If you want to meet the legend, if you want to hang with Tony Curry and other luminaries in our market, be there for sure. Tuesday, 5 o'clock, the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, 1000 John Rogers Drive, just off I-459 at Derby Park.
Well, if you have not got a chance to go out there in a while, the place is fantastic.
We're going to have free play to give
top
away.
Top of the line, what the Porch Creek folks did. The place is unbelievable. It's beautiful, first class all the way, so check it out.
It's being totally renovated now, so the new owners are really putting some effort and some resources in it, and it's going to be a show place for Birmingham.
We love this spot. 10:30, 11 o'clock every Monday through Friday. We should be on, but we're not. Only on Saturdays, 10:30, 11 o'clock. But we butt up against, we're working on it here. But we're working up right up against the college football game because we have some great games tonight. Florida, Miami, Auburn, Oklahoma, that 2:30 kickoff. And, of course, the game at the top of the hour, Arkansas and Memphis. And I believe you may have a play.
Yes.
On that Arkansas-Memphis game coming up.
Yes, the Hogs and the Tigers. Folks don't associate them with being a rivalry, but I can tell you that with a big part of the Memphis metro area across the bridge in Arkansas, there's some pretty ill feelings and some basketball history in between those two programs that have been really heated. So Arkansas and Memphis is a pretty darn good rivalry.
And Arkansas giving up, I think, about 7.5 or 8 points in that
after
game.
Were impressive at Ole Miss, but couldn't get it done. Not much defense played in that game last week at Oxford.
No. I'm throwing you some undefeated teams. You tell me whether they're in or out in the 12-team playoff. Ready?
All right.
Texas A&M.
I think they're a contender, yes.
Oklahoma.
You have to give them a check mark, but I would like to reserve that answer until Saturday.
Yeah.
But yes, I think so.
Best odds to win the Heisman Trophy right now is that Mateer kid. He is coming on big time.
Who we told you about before anybody was talking about him.
Alabama.
Alabama certainly is in playoff position. They've got a kind of an important date next week over in Athens, Georgia, that's going to tell a lot of the tale.
By the way, they're catching 4 points there between the hedges. I know where you're going to go here, but I have to ask because they were preseason number 6 in the country. Clemson Tigers.
Clemson's still got a chance. There's still a slight beat on the meter, but they don't have much margin for error, Tony. They really need to win in their league and win the ACC. As an at-large team, they've got a tough enough schedule. I think they're going to lose one more game, but they can still get in like they did last year if they can win the ACC.
They're going to 17.5 to Syracuse later on today. Auburn Tigers. Let me go ahead and give them a victory this week. And let's just say the Auburn Tigers win on the road at Oklahoma.
If they split these
give me a percentage chance they make the 12.
Okay,
if they win this week.
They're at Oklahoma this week. They're at Texas A&M next week, and then they have Georgia. Meatloaf said 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I think they need to win 2 out of these 3, and I give them a 60% chance to make the playoffs.
2 more quick. USC.
The Trojans.
In the top 25 for the first time forever.
Yeah, but they have not played anybody or done anything impressive. I'm going to take a pass on the Trojans.
Florida State.
Florida State, the jury's still out. The Alabama game was amazing, but the last couple outings, they're playing Kent State today. Let's see them line up in the meaningful games. They got Miami in a couple weeks at home. That's going to be just a huge game.
Thanks to the Talladega Super Speedway, one of our brand new sponsors, going to be joining us next week. And, of course, the starting lineup, you never know who's going to join us on the big show. We've got a monster for you here, including our portfolio games of 3 coming up here shortly.
We're here live at Soho Social playing the first ever college football blackjack. Don gets a 10. Mike gets a 3. Don gets a 20. Gets a 7. Keep going. 17. 20. A 2. An ace right here. You want to pull a card? Yeah, pull a card. Touchdown right there. Blackjack, college football, blackjack live here at Soho Social every Wednesday night. Come out, be a part of it. Kip Keefer, Tony Curry, all the crew right here, my great friends all over Birmingham. Come be a part of it. You won't regret it.
It's time for Vegas Book It or Bet It, and we've got a defending winner here who took down our expert in week 1 with Tulane over Northwestern. Right. He is back. He's earned a spot to do it again. Don, this weekend, your best bet.
On the Tennessee UAB game, unfortunately, our local UAB Blazers, God help them, they're going to Neyland Stadium, good old Rocky Top. The over-under on that game is 69.
69 points.
And Tennessee's probably going to beat them 72-10. It's my prediction. So over 69 on the UAB Tennessee game.
Yeah, 72 plus 10 is 82. That is over 69.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Even I can do that math.
Don has spoken. Let's see what Case Keefer thinks when he comes up in just a moment. More of Book It or Bet It. We are visiting with Jackson here tonight at the Soho Social. Jackson, best bet of the weekend in college football. Who you got?
Texas Longhorns.
The Texas Longhorns. I got to put the Hook 'em Horns sign up. They are about a 40-point favorite. You think they're going to be up to that task and blow out poor Sam Houston?
Oh, yeah. They did it last week. They're going to do it this week, too.
All right, you've heard it here first. Jackson is riding those horns in Austin, Texas today against Sam Houston. Remember the Gatorade campaign, Be Like Mike? Well, Clay Keefer is going to get a chance to be like Mike here. He was our third contestant, the legendary Mr. Mike. We had some technical difficulties with his segment, so Clay's going to fill in for him. What is Mr. Mike's best bet of the weekend?
I like Mr. Mike's pick, going with Oklahoma -6. They're going to put the freeze on Auburn, as he said.
That's right. That's Mr. Mike's line. Clay standing in for the legendary Mr. Mike, and we shall see if Auburn can keep it going or if Oklahoma is going to rain on this year's parade.
All right, we're back with version 3 of Book It or Bet It. Much better week for me. Last week went 2-1 in this segment. However, one of the losses was where I booked one of your bets. You guys are beating me up on this. Let's see if it changes a little bit this week. And first, we have a rematch. Don, who beat me week 1 with Tulane, -5.5, I believe, against Northwestern. I booked it. He embarrassed me. Let's see what we do this week. He's got Tennessee UAB over 69 points. Now, that is a nice number. Now, I know 69, 70, probably not key, but there are 70s somewhere on the board. And just seeing that, it's kind of sticker shock for me. I don't necessarily would not want to go over 70, but over 69, I just can't take an under in this game with 2 defenses I don't trust, especially UAB's, but even Tennessee I think has some leaks. Jalen Kitna can throw the ball. I think they score some points too. So I am going to bet it with Don. Keep firing. Maybe we will go head-to-head again later in the season, but for right now, I am on this with you. Over 69. Next, let's go to Jackson. This one was an even easier call for me. I see that you like Texas laying the points. I did not get the exact number you gave, so I'm going to go ahead and give you the benefit of the doubt and say you laid 39 points, -39, easy to find at the time of recording. I know it's easy to find because I just bet it. I always said if Texas got under 40, I was going to bet them this week, so I am going to bet the Longhorns with you. Now, I know you're saying, why would you bet the Longhorns? This offense looks so terrible. Arch Manning's like a running joke now. I think this is just a perfect spot where they put up a ton of points. Yes, they've played some bad teams the last couple weeks, but UTEP and San Jose State are a whole nother level to Sam Houston, who I rate as one of the 10 worst teams in the nation. Texas can name their score. Now, usually they don't like to do that under Steve Sarkisian. They're one of these teams that kind of shows some mercy at the end of games. I think with all the chatter about how bad their offense is this week, they aren't going to show any mercy this week. I think they win something like 56-0. I mean, how is Sam Houston going to score on them at all? So I am going to bet it with Jackson as well as Don. Now, finally, we are going to Mr. Mike, who I hear is a legendary figure around there. And who would I be not to take on a legendary figure and try to beat him? He is laying the 6.5 points with Oklahoma, hosting Auburn. Now, full disclosure, I have not bet this game. And if you've been watching the show all year, you know I love Oklahoma. The last future bets I gave out going into the season, I said John Mateer to win the Heisman at 25-1. He's now the favorite at 7-1. How about that for moving in the right direction? I also liked Oklahoma to win the national championship at 55-1. So I'm hoping Oklahoma gets out of this game, but I would be lying if I said I'm fully confident. I think this is a better spot for Auburn. They've probably been drilling some Oklahoma stuff, at least the coaches sprinkling it in the last couple weeks. Meanwhile, Oklahoma had a big game against Michigan. It took a lot of attention 2 weeks ago. They even went to Philadelphia last week with a Temple team that looked better. So I'm sure that they probably haven't been looking more ahead to Auburn until this last week. I would not be interested in betting the 6.5, but I do think this is going to be a close game. If they got to 7, I would really like Auburn. So it's tough, but I'm going to book it with you, Mr. Mike. I will take Auburn plus 6.5. Betting it with the other two. Let's see how this week turns out. Thanks for joining me for another edition of Book It or Bet It.
Feel the winning vibes at the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, where every step you take leads to excitement.
Bring on the good times. You don't want to miss this.
Top-notch games and a vibrant atmosphere. The Birmingham Racecourse Casino is the place to be. Another incredible win.
Where the winning never stops.
The Birmingham Racecourse Casino. You can be a winner too.
Welcome back. I'm Terry Quillian and you're in the Coach's Corner. And this week we have Steve Sarkisian and the University of Texas Longhorns. Well, something happened in the game against UTEP, which is the University of Texas El Paso this weekend, that I never thought I would see. And that is University of Texas football fans booing Arch Manning. Last year, whenever Arch Manning would come in the game, the fans would go crazy. They were so excited. And now it's come to this, booing him in the game. But here's why they were booing. In that game against UTEP, who is a Conference USA team, and they finished in 8th place in 2024 in Conference USA, against that competition, Arch Manning threw 10 straight incompletions. He was 11 for 25 and 114 passing yards in the game. This is definitely not what Texas fans were expecting was going to happen. So in his conference after the game and then in his press conference on Monday, Steve Sarkisian was very measured, very calm, very supportive of Arch Manning. He said some things that I thought were a little surprising. He said that one of the issues had to be that the expectations were just, so high around Arch Manning. I'm wondering, is Steve Sarkisian actually channeling Dabo Swinney? And there's a reason that expectations were high for Arch Manning. Not only was everybody told all offseason long that he was going to be the greatest quarterback, not just this year, not just in the SEC, but the greatest quarterback to ever play college football. The age of Arch was happening. Of course, expectations are high. And then expectations are high when the fans turn on a Texas football game and they see Arch. He's in commercials for Warby Parker, for, let's see, who all else? Panini American. I don't know who that is, but I do know who Uber is, and EA Sports and Vuori Clothing. All of those, you see him, so you are pretty much expecting him to be a star. Steve seems to have a different vision of how Arch is doing versus the University of Texas fan base, because Steve actually said on Monday, hey, Arch is right on the edge of a big breakthrough, and I expect that his next game is going to be the best game yet. Okay, Steve, Texas fans want to know how, why, what are you doing different? Well, Steve's answer to that is that Arch just needs to build up his confidence. Well, maybe But does that explain the way that he can't seem to move through progressions? Does that explain why he is forcing throws after an incompletion? Does that explain why he is taking off and using his legs instead of going through his progressions? That's what fans want to know. And I'm not sure if the answer to all that is just that he needs more confidence in the game. Steve seems to think that that's the answer. He's supposedly an offensive genius. And so guess what, Steve? Texas fans want you to fix this now.
Welcome to the Legend Cave, where I'm with my two famous and great friends, Keefer and the great Tony Curry. My mind's slipping. I started to say Frank Sinatra there for a minute. And
he kind of looks like Sinatra.
Must be the nose. Yeah, it must be the nose. But welcome to the Legend Cave. This Tuesday night at the Birmingham Racecourse. Come out and join all three of these great guys. We're going to be out there celebrating the football season from 5 to 7:30 on the 4th floor at the Birmingham Racetrack. Football celebration, information, domination, baby, is what it's all about. Come be a part of it and join the team. This past week, Alabama took down another cupcake. But, guys, they look pretty good. Tony, what did you take away from Alabama's destruction of Wisconsin this past week?
They did what they had to do. That was no fun-looking loving Badger. That was not a Badger that anyone wants to play right now. That's a bad football team right now. But it's still Wisconsin, a team that made the playoffs a few years back. Alabama gets the victory, and more importantly, they covered the spread. Alabama fans love that.
Yeah, I like that. Kip, last week, we seen an Alabama team excited again. Now they get a week off, headed to Athens, Georgia, to play the mighty Georgia Bulldogs. You're in tune with both of these programs. What does Alabama's mindset needs to be headed into Athens, Georgia next weekend?
They need to block everything out and stop listening to people that saying they're not playing well on the road. They just need to line up and play. This is a game talent-wise that these teams match up favorably. It's whoever is most focused and most excited to play and who makes the fewest mistakes. This is a game, Legend, that's going to hang on blown assignments, turnovers, different things of that nature. Whoever's the better prepared team. On the outside, you'd say Kirby Smart having a home game. That's a huge advantage. Alabama in the Kirby Smart era has never been in Athens. They've played in Atlanta 3 times, but not quite the same. This is a big test for Alabama, and their playoff prospects look great. If they can get out of Athens with a win, they are in perfect shape.
This is a playoff game for Alabama. It is a game they cannot lose. If they lose this game, they have one foot on a banana peel and the other one in the air. Tony, 30 seconds left. Tell Kellen the board. Tell him what he needs to do over this next week.
Just remember, we own Georgia. If you're an Alabama fan, we've always owned Georgia. They're a 4-point favorite in this game. They should have lost to Tennessee.
Yes.
Let them think they're better than they actually are. This ain't the same team we saw last year, certainly from 2 years ago. Alabama's got a shot.
Kirby Smart has not lost at home since 2018. I'll just throw that in.
There you go.
Georgia, that winning streak is on the line. We're coming for it. Hey, everybody, look out for each other. Love one another. Remember, it's just a game. Don't be like the starting lineup.
Sports Insane.
Welcome back to Starting Lineup. Southern Precision Staffing is one of these wonderful staffing groups. They do construction work. If you're into welding, anything you do in our construction zones, they're more than welcome to help you out when it comes to helping out with your staffing. 205-682-2828. 205-682-2828. Southern Precision Staffing. They're right here in Hoover, Alabama. They serve the United States of America, where your word and your handshake means something. And also, of course, Stuart Rome, who joined the show a couple weeks ago. The Woodhouse Day Spa does wonderful work. Birmingham.woodhousespas.com and Sasquatch Toys and Comics. They'll be joining us a little bit later on as we get closer to Christmas time. Always a fun place to go just in time for Christmas time. So we have a lot of great sponsors right here in the Starting Lineup.
We do, and K4 Wins is our little enterprise where we're giving you great information every week on all the big games. Places, if you're a sports investor, Tony, I always say it, it's fun to have action, but it's a lot more fun to win.
It is, no doubt. We've been really, really hot this year, despite the fact that I was horrible.
Well, you had one bad week. That's all right.
Oh, yeah, it's going to happen, and we'll throw it out there. We let you know we don't do well, but thank goodness I have 3 other guys that work with me that can pick me up when I have a bad week.
And vice versa.
Exactly. K4wins.com, K4wins.com. Check us out and get ready for another weekend of winner chicken dinners all weekend long, including pros on Sunday.
T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff. We have liftoff of Season 9 of The Morning After. Terry Quillian and Keefer at the controls, delivering a payload of unlimited, invaluable information and entertainment, pinpoint analysis, and unique perspective unavailable anywhere else in the universe. A supersonic show in an orbit all of its own. If you love college football and fun, get on board. Boldly going where no football show has gone before.
Hipster, are we there yet?
On our way, Ter. Definitely on our way.
Hey, it's Case Keefer coming to you from Las Vegas for another edition of the Vegas Heaters. I have been out here for 16 years, most of them as the sports editor for Greenspun Media Group, which includes Las Vegas Sun and Las Vegas Weekly, as well as Sports Betting Seriously and writing about sports betting. Now, in this segment every week, I've given out 3 plays just for the Vegas Heaters and then 3 for our show-wide bankroll competition. And hey, at least I've been picking the right ones to do with the bankroll competition. 3-0 last week there. Unfortunately, 1-2 in the picks separate from there. This is the 3rd straight week of 1-2. Got to try to break that this week, so let's get right to it. And I've been trying to mix in a lot of Southern games for the audience here. We've handicapped Jacksonville State, we've handicapped UAB, found a way to keep it local without going straight to the SEC, and let's do it again. Last week I picked against Troy with Memphis. That was a winner in the bankroll competition. This week I am betting on the Trojans. They are going up to Buffalo, and I just do not get this hype on the Bulls. A lot of people want to build them into a MAC contender this year. Last week they barely slipped past Kent State, deserved to lose. Kent State, the worst team in the nation as far as FBS teams the last 2 years. I can't believe Troy is getting 7 points here. They just have a higher talent level on their roster. They're better year after year. I think they went outright, so +7, easy for me. A team I just already mentioned that I took against them last week, Memphis, is the next spot I'm going to, taking on Arkansas at home. I like the Tigers here. Every week money is coming in against the Tigers. I took advantage of that last week by laying the 4 with them against Troy, and they covered. This week it goes over the 7, and I just think this is a much bigger game for them. Arkansas just had their SEC opener, just had the game against Arkansas State, which kind of turned into a rivalry with all the chirping there. I don't think they're going to be fully locked in for Memphis, and I think Memphis thinks they can get to the playoff. I've been very impressed with their quarterback, which is the one spot I had some concerns about. Brendan Lewis, I think he's gotten a lot better since his days out here at the University of Nevada, Reno. So I will take the +8 with Memphis and one NFL play to finish us off. I feel like it is kind of a tradition on this show. I take a teaser, a 6-point teaser. If you can move through the 7 and 3, just make sure you get odds of -125 or better. The favorites have been cashing in the NFL this year. I think it continues for one more week. This one seems too easy to be true, but I'm going with the Packers and the Seahawks, both -1.5 point favorites. If you tease them through the 7 and 3 at 6, both 7.5 right now. I just don't really like the Browns, and I don't much like the Seahawks opponent, the Saints, either. So I think they both get this done. I don't see how the Saints or the Browns score enough. So that teaser 1.5 points. Finally, let's get into the bankroll picks, where I'm still trying to climb my way up the board. I like the college board better this week, so maybe I should be going with the college football, and I'd say I'm not superstitious. Maybe I'm a little superstitious. My whole strategy of 2 NFL sides, 1 college side has been working, so let's stay with that. We'll start down in the South again in the NFL. I am going to lay 1.5 with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I spent all offseason talking about how I think the Jaguars are better than the Texans despite public perception in the AFC South. Now they go head-to-head. I can't ditch it now, right? This is a huge spot for the Jaguars. I feel like sentiment's kind of down on them after they blew the Bengals game last week. That was really a coin flip. Could have gone either way. I like the Jaguars' overall roster better. I just do not like Houston's offensive line. I do not like their weapons. It's going to be Jacksonville -1.5. Another team where I'm sticking to my priors all the way out here on the West. Give me the Denver Broncos +3 against the Chargers. Now, shouldn't I have learned my lesson by now, picking against the Chargers last week, not being that high on them? They look phenomenal. True, but I was so much higher on the Broncos coming into the year. Picked them to win the AFC West. They lose on a leverage call last week. The Chargers notoriously have the worst home field advantage in the NFL. With this being at 3, that means the Chargers are being perceived as the better team man-to-man than the Broncos. I can't quite get there. Broncos +3. Finally, the college football game. Let me lay 2.5 with Louisiana Tech. I'm surprised Sonny Cumbie is getting a 4th year, but I think it was a good decision by the Bulldogs administration. This looks like his best team. Blake Baker is quarterback, throwing it, running that. Southern Miss still kind of meshing 2 cultures with Coach Huff coming in from Marshall. They came through for me last week, but all the money was coming in against them. Now the money is on them. I'm going to swing the other way. So Louisiana Tech -2.5 to go with Denver and Jacksonville. Let's see what the other guys have in the competition.
If you're looking up at the screen behind us, you see pluses, pluses, plus. That means we're all hitting our plays. Kip Keefer, bankroll time, the starting lineup. Give me your plays for this weekend.
Coming up right here next on ABC 3340, you've got the showdown in Memphis between the Razorbacks from Arkansas and the Memphis Tigers. This is a game that most people would say SEC team against a secondary team, but don't be too quick to judge. This is going to be a really good game because it's a lot bigger rivalry than a lot of people realize. I'm going the chicken way here. I think there's going to be points galore. If you're a little sluggish on this Saturday morning, stay tuned right here and watch this game. And it's going to wake you up because they're going to light the scoreboard up. 62 is the over-under number. I'm saying this game goes over. So I'll go one $75 unit on that. And I'm going to take 75. I think a team backed into the corner and really needing to succeed in this week is the poor Sunbelt Billy-led Florida Gators.
Wow.
Everybody's buying in on Miami, but Miami's been crushing cupcakes after almost blowing the game against Notre Dame. I think Florida is going to rally, is going to rouse the forces. I think they make a last stand. They may go down, but I think they cover the 7.5.
Legend is the big two-team parlay. Can he do it?
How about that? Legend goes from 0 to 375 with a two-team parlay last week.
Back
Well
it up,
done.
baby. Back it up. What you got?
Well, last week the Legend brothers got serious about this thing. The season got underway. And last week we gave you a two-team winner with Texas A&M and Alabama. And we're back this week to give you another two-team winner. Because when the Legend brothers get rolling, baby, get out of the way. I hate to go against my man, Keefer, got the great respect for him. But I'm hearing reports that Florida is shooting videos on sidelines with their cameras. They're not into the game. They're not behind Sunbelt Billy. They go down to Miami and play Carson Beckett, a Miami team on a roll. I look for Miami to beat them by 21 points. We also like Oklahoma. Auburn is an improved team. Oklahoma is a complete team. Take Oklahoma, give up the 6.5. Take Miami, give up the 7.5. A two-team parlay for the entire 150 by the legendary Legend brothers.
I like it. I get 3 games. I'm going to get 75 each on these bad boys.
All
I'm
right.
also going to back you up with the Oklahoma. Man, Matia showed me something last week against, of course, I had the Temple Owls winning outright with a wink and a nod, getting plus 24, and they just got totally blown out. Oklahoma's defense is really, really good, by the way. Matia is the real deal right now. Spot on, the best to win the Heisman Trophy. I really like that. People are talking about this Arnold revenge game. Get out of here. Auburn hasn't seen a secondary like Oklahoma's got. So I'm going to take Oklahoma minus 7. Florida, defensively speaking, is looking fantastic. They look really good. And so is Miami. And Miami's getting up a ton of points. No, they're not. They're not getting up anything because they didn't play anybody. I love the under 51.5 in this game. I think you're probably looking at a 21-17 game under 51. And a team we've been on all real long, the Wolfpack. I think the wrong team is favored here. I'm taking NC State plus the 3.5. Give the ball to Hollywood Smothers all day long. Mensa, the $7.5 million quarterback for Duke, has turned the ball over 5 times in the last 3 games. I'm taking NC State plus the 3.5. Miami, Florida under 51.5. And Oklahoma minus the 7. That is our bankroll right here. On
And
the
almost all these games we just talked about right here on ABC 3340. You just watch all day long. We kick it off with Memphis, Arkansas. Then we go to the big game coming up between Oklahoma and Auburn. And tonight, Florida, Miami. So we're covered right here. You don't have to go anywhere.
Enjoy your great day of college football. And thanks for watching the starting lineup